Hello again. Tonight's project is going to be a tough one. And let's see, start off with what it is. This is a Tokutomi. That's a gentleman's name in Japan who makes, he's become one of the acknowledged world's masters. This guy's has done some just brilliant stuff. And this is from 2002. He was learning his craft, but he had it down pretty well by now, or by 2002, even though it's almost 20 years ago. So it's quite a highly coveted collectible piece. Very few people wouldn't want to own one of these. So what needs to be done is obvious. The stem broke in an unusual way. It just snapped off, but it happens from time to time. And obviously the pipe cleaner in there is used to extend the line of the stem to take a good guess at the length of the original stem. And of course you go online and you look up Tokutomi and blowfish and you get, basically do your detective work and then hold the pipe up against your screen or near it and figure out where the end of the stem would have been in 2002 for this style of pipe. It's not rocket science. I wish I did have the piece. I'd super glue it back on there just for ease of having a 3D reference, but we'll get by here. I think we're all right. So anyway, there's the length of the stem. And what makes this one double tough, and boy howdy are you about to learn what tough is. If you have a pipe like this and are going to follow along, get ready for some heartache. What makes this difficult, and it's not obvious at first glance, and here we go. As usual, the envelopes and the markers come to the rescue. The line of the shank is a curve, both top and bottom and sides for that matter. I didn't draw the sides. And the saddle portion of the stem is an extension of the shank, meaning it flares. It's like it trumpets. And that this line here and here is actually a slight curve as well as diverges. Now when the pipe was originally made, the block of rubber was just, a tenon was cut, it was plugged in, and it was shaped all as a single piece, just as if it were one material. And that makes the brilliance of the shaping is something that's a separate issue. But it was easy to keep the two materials flush with each other and the line continuous when they're ground together. Again, that's not to diminish the artistic brilliance of the shaping, but rather that as a repair job, replacing a stem on a pipe like this without touching the shank is a heck of a job. It's going to be difficult. And the other thing to compound this is, I'm not quite sure how well you can see that. Yeah, I guess you kind of can. Notice the shape, the cross-sectional shape of the shank. It is not symmetrical. It was the subject of this artistic sweep that Tokutomi saw in his mind when he shaped this thing. And he wanted to have a panel, kind of an extended panel on the one side, but a curve on the other, and so on like that, so that none of this is centered, none of it is round, it has no mirror image, the left side is different than the right side. So it's asymmetric. And that together with this extend the curve thing is about as difficult a restem as you're going to find. Now, it's absolutely worth the attempt because it can't be smoked as is, and this is this is a legitimate art pipe. This is, borderline museum quality stuff here. So worth quite a lot of money, and is worth going the extra mile to get a new stem on it. So that's what we're going to be doing. Obviously, the first order of business is to just cut a chunk of rubber and cut a tenon on it. And what I'm going to do in this case, I've made several stems already in this series, none like this one, but the routine parts, the cutting of the tenon and all that, and drilling holes, I have covered that in the past. But since then, I've discovered ways of controlling the camera and especially controlling the editing of the film, I call it film, the video, so that it's much clearer and that stays in focus better, and extreme close-ups are possible. So I'm going to go ahead and do this project as if none of those others exist, for no other reason than it'll be a technically superior video when I'm done to any of the stem replacement ones I've done in the past. And I've also discovered from emails and phone calls and stuff that there's some number of people who follow these that are not actually workmen themselves. They're not repair guys or even refurbishers. They're pipe collectors only and smokers. But in the same way you don't have to be a professional baseball player to enjoy watching a baseball game on TV, there are people that aren't interested in doing the work themselves, but are entertained by the process as watching guys like you and me do this stuff. So I'll record the whole thing, and within reason anyway, and we'll take it from there. So that is it. This is exciting, and I will go cut a length of rubber. You don't need to see that be done, of course, and then meet you over at the machine where I will cut a tenon, and we'll get the show on the road. Alrighty then.